In lesson 2-4, we will be working on adding integers. So remember, integers are negative numbers and positive numbers, and we're going to work on adding them. Opposites would be like a -3 is opposite to 3. All right, so obviously if we were trying to add these, we would get 0 because they are opposites of each other. The additive inverse, that would be saying like if I am have 4 minus 2, that would be the same thing as saying 4 plus -2. Okay, so we're adding the inverse. That's where this is coming from. Additive inverse, we're adding the inverse. Inverse means opposite. Here, this is just kind of some words here I have. Same sign equals a sum. So like, if I have 3 plus 4, I just find the sum. Sum means add. So 3 plus 4 is 7. If I had two negative numbers, I would say -3 plus -4. All right, and that equals -7. So if I have the same sign, all I got to do is add the numbers, add the absolute values. So 3 plus 4. Absolute values of 3 is 3. Absolute values of 4 is 4. So just add the two. 3 plus 4 is 7. Now, they're both negative. So I know if I'm adding, all right, we have a -3 and we have a -4. So again, if you think about it on the number line, here's your -3. And if I went 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, this would be -4, -5, -6, and -7 right here. Okay. Another thing that I'm going to do here in this lesson is I'm going to talk about it like it's money. All right. Adding integers is money. We're going to say the word O for every negative sign that you see. So for an example here is I owe 5 and I owe 2. So if I owe $5 to someone and I owe $2 to someone, that means like total I owe $7. Okay, so sometimes talking about like money helps us make a little bit more sense. All right, so let's try it out. You can read through this. This is kind of just what I was talking about there. With the same sign, we find the sum. So again, I have, thinking again about money, whenever I have a positive, I'll say I have, okay? And I'll do that for positive numbers. So like this, I have $7, I have $4, so I have 11 total. Here I owe 7 and I owe 4, so I owe 11, all right? And then here the additive inverse, I have 5 and I owe 5. So again, I'm saying the word owe every time I see a subtraction or a negative, and I'm saying the word and for addition. So I have for positive, I have 5 and owe 5, so that means I have 0. All right, so again, we can think about this. I owe 6. Now, if you do this in your homework, you actually have to copy this out of your book, just like normal. I owe 6 and owe 3. So if I owe $6 and I owe $3, add the two numbers together to get 9, and you owe money, so we're still going to have a negative, all right? We could think of it like a tug of war, all right? You're already pulling to the left 3, okay? That's your -3. And then we're going another -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going another -6 in the same direction. So if this were tug of war, we're pulling in the same direction, okay? So again, our answer is -9. So to show your work, you could use a number line, or you can just think of I owe 6 and owe 3. But you have to show me this part. Okay, so we have to have this information right here. You copy this out of the book, and then here's your answer. You can use a number line. It might be a good idea for you on the very top or side of your paper to give yourself a really big number line and then use it throughout the assignment. All right, so I'm going to copy it out of the book. -34 plus -21. All right, now I'm going to talk about it like money. I owe $34 and owe $21. Now these have the same sign, so I'm going to add the two numbers together. So I'm just going to say 21. I'm going to add that. I get a 5. I get a 5. Now, if they were both negative and we're just adding, I'm going to keep it negative. All right, they were both negative. They were both negative, and we're adding it together. So that means we're going to owe even more money. All right, I owe $34 to someone. I owe $21 to someone else. So grand total, I owe 55. All right, now we're going to add integers with different signs. Okay, now if we think of the tug of war, which number has a bigger absolute value? That's the winner of the tug of war battle. Okay, and they get to keep their sign. So look here, we get a 9 and we get a -4. Well, the 9 is a bigger absolute value, so the answer will stay positive. And then we just find the difference. Remember, difference means to subtract. So just 9 minus 4 is 5. Now, in this problem, over here, we owe 9. All right, so 9 is a greater absolute value than 4, and 9 is negative, so that means the answer will be negative. Okay, and then again, we still just find the difference. So 9 minus 4 is 5, and we determine positive or negative by which one has a bigger absolute value. Okay, or we can think of it as I owe $9 and I have $4 in my pocket. So I pay my 4 and I have 5 left. Okay, so let's think about this. I have $8 and I owe $7. That means I'm going to have 1 left over. You can show this on the number line. You start here at 8 and then we take away 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You end at 1. Okay, another thing we can think about here is this is a positive, this is a negative. 8 is bigger, so positive wins. All right, positive wins, and the difference between 8 and 7 is just 1, and we knew it was going to be positive, so the answer is 1. There's a few different ways you can think about it. I just gave you like 3 different ways. One is with a number line, one is thinking about it like money, and another way is to think about, finding the difference of the absolute values, and then the greater absolute value keeps the sign. All right, I owe $3 and I have $5, so I'm going to have $2 left. I owe $3 to someone and I have 5. Okay, if you need a number line, you can definitely use one. Let's say this is -3, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now we need to fill in our number line. That'd be -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, and that's where we end up. Okay, so you can use a number line if you want to, or you can think about it like money. Or you could say, well, the 5 is a greater absolute value, so I know the answer is going to be positive, and then 5 minus 3 is 2. So there again, a couple different ways to think about it. All right, all of these with different integers. So I have $2. I owe 7. I have 2. So if I pay off the 2, now I'm still going to owe $5. So again, don't forget, I do expect you to copy this down. So let's write 2 plus -7, and then we would have -5. All right, now this one is positive and it's bigger. Okay, it's bigger than absolute value of -3. So I know the answer is going to be positive, and that might be a good thing to do. Right now I knew this answer is going to be negative. I know this one's going to be negative, and I know this one's going to be negative. Just because the -9 is bigger than 6. The absolute value of -9 is bigger than 6. The absolute value of -9 is bigger than 5. The absolute value of 7 is bigger than the absolute value of -3. Okay? Now I just need to find the difference between these. So I subtract 3 and I get 4, and I said it was going to be positive. I subtract 6, I get 3, and I said it was going to be negative. I subtract 5, I get 4, and I said it was going to be negative, okay? Why did I subtract? Because they're different signs. When they are different signs, you find the difference, okay? And difference means to subtract. So you always take your number with a greater absolute value and subtract the smaller number. So like the absolute value of -9. Yeah. Sorry about that. The absolute value of -9 is 9. So that's why we subtract 5 from it. All right, so now it says use the additive inverse. Remember, additive inverse would be like 3 plus negative 3 equals 0, okay? So if we know that they cancel each other, we can just say that 11 and negative 11 cancel, so our answer is 4. Now, of course, in homework, you're going to copy 11 plus negative 4 plus negative 11, and you're going to say that equals negative 4, and you can go ahead and cross these things out, and there's your answer, okay? Same thing here, copy it, we go 5 plus negative 11 plus negative 5, and our negative 5 and 5 cancel, we're left with negative 11. And last but not least, now we need to substitute, so we have negative 8 plus negative 5. Now these both have the same sign, so I know it's going to be negative, and I just add them. Well, 8 plus 5 is 13. All right, during an hour trading baseball cards with his friends, Kyle increases the size of his collection by 12 cards. So we can write that as a plus 12. And then he loses 9 cards. So you can say plus negative 9. All right, then it says write an addition sentence to describe the situation, then find its sum. So we could say simply 12 plus negative 9. Now we don't want to say 12 minus 9 because it says write an addition sentence. Okay? Now, 12 is bigger, so we know it's going to be a positive answer. All right, and then so we just subtract the 9, and we get 3. So now this is a word problem, so you should say 3 cards. All right, and that's our last example for lesson 2-4. Be sure to check the Moodle page if you have any questions about homework. Thanks.